Welcome to Wireman's Whimsy. Today we are going to step away from using ink pads and stamps and just use die cuts. We're using the Butterfly Beauty die cuts along with the Flowers for Every Season Designer Series paper and the Magenta Madness cardstock. This is a fabulous, bright, sunshiny kind of card. The butterfly dies, I've used the basic white and the Flirty Flamingo cardstock. So it takes a little bit of time to put this together because you need to poke out all of the little dots and that to get the actual effect. What I have done, because this is a fairly detailed die and there's not a lot of place to put glue down, I've actually used the Sizzix adhesive sheets. So basically I've turned this into a sticker. When I run this through, I can peel out the actual shape and it will have adhesive on the back, which I can stick to the basic white cardstock. So I'm just going to go ahead and start by running this through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss using the magnetic platform and the cutting mats. So I will run this through, and it's one of the really detailed dies. So you have to take some time afterwards with your sponge and brush just to get the pieces out. That's what takes the most time with this card, is actually getting the pieces apart. So I am just going to start to pull the main part of the paper out, and you can see how it's inside the die. So you just take your sponge and your brush and you just begin to rub the brush over, and you can see the pieces starting to come out. You may still need to use a stylus to poke some of the smaller pieces out, and you can see all the pieces left behind, and you just start to very gently lift the paper out of the die. And if it is still stuck, you just take your stylus and you start to gently start to push it all out. Like I say, this is what takes the time with this card, is actually getting the cardstock out of the die. You can use wax paper as well with your die, between the die and the cardstock, which does indeed help with the release of the cardstock. I find sometimes, though, it can be more of a pain trying to get the wax paper off your cardstock than it's worth trying to get this out of the die. So there are lots of really small pieces on here, like the antennae of the butterfly. So you want to be careful about how hard you actually pull on the cardstock. So there is the base pulled out, and there's just a couple more bits that have to come out. So I will just put that over there for now. And I will empty this off into my garbage, which I have just over here. And I'm going to run this one through. This one does take quite a long time to take apart. So we'll just run this through. And then we'll do the same thing. We'll use the brush, keeping in mind that this has now been turned into a sticker. So when we take this, you can already see big pieces are coming out. So you can just, whatever wants to come out already, you can knock out. Otherwise, you just take your brush and wiggle it over to separate everything. Do your best to get as much out as you can now, because as I say, this is, once we get it separated, it is like a sticker, and we're just going to lay that down over top of the white cardstock that we've already cut. Okay, so this has come away from the die, so I'll just move that out of the way. We're just going to work this out of the background. Now you can see it's really, really a fine, delicate piece. I'm just basically loosening it up, and there are still pieces that need to be poked out, so I'm just going to poke those out before we get going too far. The white pieces you don't have to worry about, that's just the backing, and that will come off when we peel it off the sticker paper. So we are just going to just keep poking, and if they don't come out right away, that's okay. We can always do another run with the stylus when we have it off the background. So now we need to peel it off very carefully off the backing paper. So we're just going to lift. Again, these are really delicate pieces, so you're going to be very careful when you're lifting it up so that you don't actually lose any of the little pieces. You can see the backing paper coming away, and it's actually taking some of those pieces with it. I'm just going to lift this away here. I say this is the piece that takes all the time with this, but you save time on what you're not stamping. So as we lift it, because this is on adhesive, if something does happen to tear, you can just stick it back down again when you're on the card. And we're just going to peel the rest of it away. So there you've got the background and the adhesive. And I'm just going to clear this out of the way. This one is messy, that's for sure. So then we are going to take the butterfly, and we need to, this is sticky, so you just need to be careful that you're aiming it well when you put it down. Try and line up a couple of the big pieces and then line them up on the other side as well, and everything should just really kind of fall down into place. Make sure you've got the antennae down, and then we are simply going to layer it onto our card. So I will attach the Flowers for Every Season Designer Series paper onto the Magenta Madness cardstock, and you can do this with, it's beautiful with really subtle colors as well. Just nice soft butterflies. I have kind of a teenage, young teenage girl in mind for this card, so I wanted it bright and happy and just really kind of in your face. So I am just putting the adhesive down on the larger pieces here, just to give it a bit of stick. There we go. And you just place it down. The die is just sometimes just a little bit bigger depending on how you place it down, but you can just drop it down like that. And that is how you make a really striking card. You can add a greeting to it if you want to. I chose to leave it blank because I like the butterflies, just the drama in it with the stripes and the butterflies. I like it like this. And then, of course, you can put whatever greeting you want inside as well. So that's using the Butterfly Beauty dies and the Flowers for Every Season Designer Series paper. Thank you very much. If there is anything you saw in this video that you would like to purchase, please use the links below and hit subscribe and notifications so that you can see every video when it comes out. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.